Little Page, 3908 Hardy Ford Way, Round Texas. So I am a local business owner, been a business owner for probably 16 years in the city. I own an accounting firm, I have extensive background in governmental accounting. So when I figured out that Long Branch was having these problems, and they are doing everything they can to keep their doors open without the music being allowed, I pulled some of the records. So I did an analysis on the 2 blocks on downtown Round Rock from Tavern to Brass Tap. So of the revenue generated in your general fund over the gross receipts with mixed beverage revenue that you get, Long Branch alone, just from January through August, has produced 27% of the revenue that the city receives, just on that one line item on your general fund. And with that being said, you were just talking about on agenda F1 with the fire department being underfunded. The last thing you want to do is take a local business owner that's been here since 2015 and hinder their way to do business, which is going to hinder your tax revenue. So another little bit of information that I've pulled just pertaining to Long Branch, they pay. The city alone is broken up into the gross receipts tax fund for the mixed beverage gross receipts, as well as the 2% sales tax piece. So only the piece that is going to the city. Y'all receive over $22,000 a month from them alone. So if y'all are shutting them down, I pulled the first week that they were shut down with no music, and I'm saying shut down, but I mean not allowed to have music. They've had a hit in sales. They've had a 23% hit in sales just on the first week alone. So I didn't want to do a big analysis, I just wanted to be very simple. So if that continues on for what there's going to be their 52 weeks, their 1 year of not being able to have music based on that amount of money, y'all are going to lose almost $80,000 in revenue. So just keep in mind that this is a local business and they are here and they are trying to help. They are helping all of this city. They've been here, they're an absolute ideal establishment that comes in here, and the music is a key part to their business. So I wanted to talk directly to y'all based on from an accounting standpoint and the revenue on that general fund and how you're missing it. My background is, I have governmental background, and so I am published in Williamson County from your CAFR standpoint and your PAFR standpoint. I don't believe the city has a PAFR, but I headed that entire thing up when I worked for the county. So I just wanted to give a professional standpoint on what y'all are missing if this continues to happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Danielle Davis.
Hello, Danielle Davis, 1212 Dayton Drive, Round Texas, 664. My issue at hand is the fact that they admitted they had 3 violations, correct? And section 14-200.2, subsection F, revocation of permit, I'm just gonna summarize here so I don't take that long. Police chief shall revoke the permit if found guilty 3 times in a 12-month period, which they admitted on a public platform. The punishment is up to a year, that's very clear in the situation. And then I went over the appeal reasons and I did not feel like they met any of those. I do not want to see any businesses go under for things like this, but rules are meant to be followed. We can circle back on the rules later on. But the fact, I'm sorry, Ms. Littlepage, I believe? Yeah. I don't believe that accounting really needs to come into this because money doesn't buy you everything, you know? And I feel for the businesses, I feel for the musicians, I feel for my friends that are bartenders, I don't know if we're friends after this, but, you know, but they admitted and they asked if the crime fit the punishment, and I 100% believe in the black and white that that is the case here. And I don't need any more time other than that, thank you.
Thank you. Brandon Cox.
This is an individual that will speak.
Okay. Morgan Olson. How you doing?
Well, my name is Morgan Olson. I'm on the 209 Sunset Drive, Round Rock, Texas 78664. I'm here with my wife, Ashley, for 6 years. We have lived in North Park neighborhood, only a half mile from wonderful downtown Round Rock. We make an effort to support the local businesses in the downtown area with our patronage, but the Long Branch Saloon is our go-to location. This is mostly due to their community involvement and hospitable staff. The Long Branch is a family-owned establishment that has given back to us personally by sponsoring our Thursday night kickball team that plays at Memorial Park. When we asked for their assistance, they quickly cut a check, and our entire team had quality team jerseys. We're very appreciative of their support, and as patrons, we're happy to speak on their good nature. The Long Branch's unique business style boasts owners that acknowledge your every visit, a courteous staff, whom some have become good friends of ours, and even some little details like Minerva's candles always burning at the bar, giving you that homey feel. We share these characteristics of the Long Branch because they may soon become compromised by a lofty consequence. A consequence for an honest and benevolent mistake. A year without the ability to play outdoor music will place a long-lasting financial hardship on a primarily outdoor venue such as the Long Branch. We should also remember that this establishment, like many others, is still reeling from a pandemic that recently shuttered their doors. We fully respect the citing officer and the job he was tasked to do, but we also believe that since the violation was committed in good faith and not purposeful, that some leniency may be warranted. And living only a 9-minute walk away, my wife and I have never experienced an obnoxious level of music from Main Street, including the Long Branch Saloon. As long as the Long Branch keeps up a positive rapport with its neighbors and patrons, it should be a mainstay on Main Street for years to come. For now, we kindly ask the council to give grace and help keep Minerva's candles burning at the Long Branch Saloon. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Jaime Villarreal, Chris Cantwell.
Good afternoon, and thank you for your time. Born and raised in Round Rock, Texas, I live on Liberty Street. My name is Chris Cantwell. Thank you for all that you do for our town. It's really wonderful. I seldom go to Long Branch Saloon and enjoy the music from my front porch as well in downtown Round Rock. However, the issue that I had with the citations that were received from there is the technical data of how it could be achieved. Any decimal meter that can read sound can only read a total volume of sound, not just one. So if I'm speaking here and you're grumbling over there and someone over here is making a noise or either breathing or the air conditioner's running, that's a total volume of sound. I'll only be putting out 60 to 65 decimals of sound at the time that the meter may be reading 75 to 80. I'm sitting back here riding mid-70s to low 80s just in this room alone, which is not uncommon. So if you take a place like Long Branch Saloon, who is producing sound like everyone else, we could not come in with a digital decimal meter to read exactly what Long Branch was able to put out. However, what you did by shutting down Long Branch for 2 weeks, you've eliminated them from the equation. So on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I went up to sit at the same place at the Long Branch Saloon in the middle of the patio to take a reading at the busy point of each night. At the beginning of the week, the decimal readings were 70 to 73 as the week went on. By Saturday night, we went to 79, 80, 78, 81 at times. Well, Long Branch Saloon wasn't contributing to any of that sound because they had no amplified sound permit. They weren't creating any of it, but at their same location, the reading was already at full max. So how can they be cited for the entire amount of 84 decimals? So I think there should be more consideration to how it's read or how the agenda is going to read as far as how we're going to achieve that. I agree with an ordinance. I agree with all of you, and I think you've done a wonderful job. However, I want you to understand that maybe a lot of things have not been taken into consideration for wind factors and reflections and hard surfaces, and the trains and the traffic alone puts out 75 decimals of sound at the busiest intersection in town on a Saturday night. People alone having a conversation puts out 62 decimals. You multiply that by 5,000 conversations going on in downtown Round Rock, just as you hear in here. the sound multiplies and it doubles. A factor of, I got 45 minutes worth of data I can put out, but I'm clearly gonna go straight to the same point of, there's no way they could have created all 84 decibels of that sound when we had 80 without them. So please take that into consideration and figuring out if maybe the ordinance needs to be reread, maybe we need a restart button, maybe we need to find another way to establish what's right or wrong, but we enjoy the music from our porches in downtown Round Rock. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Greg Kerwin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Greg Kerwin, 302 Sunset Drive, Round Rock, Texas. Been here, it's been a while since I've been here to bug you guys, but I didn't want to talk about this. I appreciate the opportunity. I want to say thank you because the writing of the ordinance, and I know I was one of the gadflies, I think it is, of people that bother you a lot about that. It took a long time. It was at least 2 years, in my case, of having to put up with the noise level. 48 houses away, if you can imagine that, knocking on your neighbor's door and saying, please turn down the music. I live roughly 48 houses away from some of the loudest offenders before the ordinance was passed. Since the ordinance was passed, I haven't heard that music inside my house. I do hear it outside. I don't particularly like it, but it doesn't bother me. I hear it outside. I'm a local business too. 13 years ago, my company gave me a 1-month vacation and said, go find a new job. Since then, I've been self-employed. I work when the work is there. Every morning I wake up unemployed till the next job comes in. And since most of my clients are overseas, sometimes that means staying up late at night. Often, in the 2 years before the ordinance was passed, I was having to listen to people cry about their baby in the rain while I'm trying to translate documents. I did not appreciate it. The noise was that loud. The ordinance is very clear. It was a long process of writing it out. And I would just like to say that if you look at the ordinance, it's very clear, particularly with regard to the appeal process. A permit holder may appeal to the city. And then it says, the notice of appeal must include, and this is point C, the reasons the appellant believes that the decision, here's the key point, does not comply with the requirements of this chapter. The appeal that was filed says concern on discrepancy on noise measurement. There's no proof, there's no evidence, there's nothing about how the ordinance wasn't followed or that it wasn't laid out properly. There may be some things that could be done to make the ordinance more fair, but the appeal on its face already does not meet the requirements of the appeal process. And so I would encourage the city council not to consider people's feelings or how much money is lost. Like I said, I'm a one-man business. I contribute taxes too. I feel sorry for people that put themselves in this position. But again, it was a 2-year process and many citizens spoke. Council got involved, the police got involved. We have one bar owner who actually did a very good job representing the bar's position and proved that they were part of the community. And I appreciate that, I respect that. But most of the other bars never even showed up. We had city meetings, they wouldn't even show up, they wouldn't even present their opinion. There was another opinion where it was said that people who were bothered by this were just a few disgruntled persons. And it was more than that. So I do again want to say thank you to you guys, thank you to people who've enforced this. And I expect the decision will be made based on the law, not on people's feelings. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah Terry.
Hello.
How are you?
Wonderful, thank you. My name is Sarah Terry Torres. I live at 1620 Bryant Drive, Round Rock, Texas, 78664. I have been a bartender at Long Branch since the beginning. In the last 6 years, working at Long Branch has been more than just a job to me. In my tenure, a family has been created. The people that I've met while there, I've traveled with, who are part of my wedding. We celebrate everything together. But it is still a job. And while the income is vital to my livelihood, it is also required for me to be able to give back. I always try to support local business, whether it's simply a takeout dinner or a celebration with my son, or a date night with my husband, we always try to give back and provide towards our downtown community. This paying it forward, along with the ability to maintain my basic needs, will not be possible without the ability to continue business as usual. And all of this coming after a disastrous 2020. We were shut down for 7 months. We had to adapt to new rules just to reopen. We opened a whole food truck just to keep our doors open at great cost and with much faith that things would improve. With this new lofty consequence, I'm certain we will not be able to sustain. And while I agree there should be consequences for our missteps, this consequence does not match the level of transgression. Minerva, our owner, she was a middle school principal. She loves rules. She follows rules. She enforces rules. Since the ordinance came forth in 2019, we have been in compliance to the best of our abilities. Hyman, our manager, he's always out there with the decibel reader. He's always trying to keep everything under control. We really do, to the best of our ability, try to keep that at 80 or below. I think there was a miscommunication as to where the correct location is to read, or how to read, or which reader to use. It seems we are getting different numbers, but nothing that happens at fault happens out of malice or with any malintent for the law. We really were trying to respect law. So because of that, I am respectfully requesting leniency. In addition to what we can provide to our staff and our vendors, our outdoor space also, oh darn, is that it? Oh no! I didn't even think that, okay. All right. Okay, so we really do want to support ourselves and our community. We believe that a compromise can be made, and I speak for the staff as that we are fully committed to making this work moving forward. Thank you so much.
Thomas Horn.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is Thomas Horn. I live at 313 Creek Crossing Drive. I live in Georgetown now. I'm a former Round Rock resident. I own the Secondhand Rose Band. It's a country band. And we have entertained at the Long Branch Saloon to the delight of hundreds of Round Rock residents for almost 5 years. I am here tonight to speak in support of live outdoor music at the Long Branch Saloon. The Long Branch has provided musical entertainment for many years. Music is not noise. The city ordinance governing this activity specifically states, and I quote, "To protect against deleterious effects of excessive, prolonged, or otherwise undesirable noise." Again, music is not noise. As you, Mr. Mayor, and council members proudly acknowledge, Round Rock is designated as a music-friendly city with an appointed liaison to the Texas Music Office. This honored designation is something coveted by all musicians and live music venues in Round Rock and should not be put in jeopardy by an ambiguous noise ordinance. Music is not noise. The city ordinance does not specify the definition of prolonged noise. Doesn't specify the definition of prolonged noise. Does the police officer charged with taking the decibel reading of the music indicate the length of time taken for the decibel measurement? I don't know. Thus, the determination of what is prolonged is at best ambiguous. Is prolonged, does that mean 1 second, hold the meter? 30 seconds, an entire song, or an entire evening? Given the ambiguity of what prolonged means in the ordinance, I'm asking you, Mr. Mayor, and you council members, to set aside the onerous penalty imposed for the infraction of this ordinance. We as a community of small businessmen and women have still not recovered financially or emotionally from the pandemic. We, the Long Branch, and myself have stood fast and struggled as many others have to keep people employed. Imposing a 1-year penalty of no live entertainment on a small business that depends on live entertainment for its very survival will deprive many people of their employment, music enjoyment, and a loss of city revenue from lost sales, and police time and effort managing this undefined ordinance. I implore you to define the word prolonged so that the bands that play at the Long Branch will understand how to comply with the ordinance. Stopping the music will only serve to stop the entertainment and thus stop the business and welfare of its employees. Thank you very much. We have a decibel meter on stage with us, and we comply with that.
Thank you, sir. Tina Steiner.
Don't forget my address, I'd rather not.
Okay,
I live a few blocks from here.
just make sure you tell her I've got on the.
She has it on the card. Excuse me. Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's amazing to see so many actively engaged citizens tonight. The noise ordinance has been a work in progress for many years between the mayor, council, Round Rock PD, and the downtown businesses. We worked hard on this for 2 years. Tonight, I'm speaking for my 82-year-old neighbor who still works 3 jobs, yet can't sleep at night. I am speaking for another elderly neighbor who has terminal cancer, yet can't find peace. I'm speaking for many downtown residents who are not only retired, but tired. I'm speaking for my students who sleep in class when they can't sleep at night. Please keep them in mind when making your decision. No one wants to hinder businesses. The residents only want to be acknowledged in this process. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, staff presentations. G, you want to consider a presentation regarding the city's ISO rating. Come on up, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I'd like to introduce you to the three gentlemen tonight that are here to present an award to the city. We have with us